Senator, I begin by thanking you for your leadership on this issue and acknowledging that I'm here under somewhat false pretenses. Your staff reached out to me because a poll conducted by Luntz Global, I realize it has the same name as mine, for the Climate Leadership Council in May of this year, it pronounced in bold headlines that the Republicans supported a tax on carbon as a way to fight climate change. The media, represented here, lapped it up, from Time magazine to The Atlantic to the Financial Times and even Bloomberg. The world was told that influential GOP pollster Frank Luntz, and I do appreciate that title, I will wear it with a badge of honor, at least on my CV, that I call for a tax on carbon, and the GOP was warned that the electoral disaster would ensue if they didn't listen. And social media ate it up. Twitter forwarded it to everyone, and I got the best publicity I've had in years. I can assure you, Senator, that if you call for action on climate change, you become the most popular person on the pages of print and just about every television show. The only problem is it wasn't me. I didn't take that poll. I left that firm 18 months ago, but no one bothered to check the facts other than, coincidentally, the New York Times. Twitter was wrong, as it so often is. Social media was wrong. The mainstream media got it wrong. And so here I am sitting before you, grateful for the chance to correct the record. So and here's the good news. What does America really believe? First, Americans believe climate change is real, and that number goes up every single month. They believe that it is man-made, and that number increases every month, and that both political and business leaders need to do more right now to address it. Second, climate change matters more to Democrats and less to Republicans. That is true. But younger Republicans do care about it a lot. It is a privilege to sit next to people who get this opportunity to address a senator at half my age. It makes me feel tremendously old. In fact, as a Republican speaking here right now, I understand how Dr. Kevorkian felt at an AARP convention. Third, an increasing number of Americans are willing to pay or pay more, but only if that action has, and I quote, a meaningful, measurable impact on climate change. Support for a carbon tax is significant, but it melts away if it is shown to have little or no impact on climate change itself. And fourth, they expect the rest of the world to walk the walk, not just talk the talk, and that begins with China and India. Americans do not want to put this country at an economic disadvantage if China doesn't participate. So where does that leave us? As someone who polls and presents to both Republicans and Democratic leaders, climate change has become a partisan issue. And if we are to make a meaningful, measurable difference, we have to come up with meaningful, measurable, nonpartisan solutions. We also need to jettison much of the most extreme language in favor of a get-it-done approach. Senator, I agreed to be here because I see you as a genuine advocate for this. I see you as someone who's willing to put aside politics for good policy. And that's why I beg your colleagues to use some examples which I'll share with you after this introduction. For example, sustainability. Stop. Sustainability is about the status quo. Sustainability means that lake, that river, that beach will be there 20 years, 50 years from now. What the American people really want is something that is cleaner, safer, healthier. What they're asking for is improvement, not the status quo. Second is to focus on the consequences of inaction. The American people want to know the positive of this, not just the negative, not just the fear. They want to know the benefit of focusing on it. And I end my opening remarks with my own personal interaction with climate change. I have a home in Los Angeles, and I was woken at 3:15 in the morning with my phone making the weirdest sound I've ever heard it make. It was an emergency. It was an evacuation call. I live in Los Angeles, and the so-called Skirball fire was heading down the 405. The courageous firefighters of LA, they saved my home, but others aren't so lucky. Rising sea levels, melting ice caps, tornadoes, and hurricanes more ferocious than ever. It is happening. I will tell you, as someone who challenged climate change 19 years ago, which is when the media uses the language against me, that work was done in 2000, 2001, and 2002. That was a lifetime ago. I've changed, and I will help you with messaging if you wish to have it. But in return, you have to put policies ahead of politics. You have to make the commitment not to make it partisan. We've had irreconcilable differences in the past, but we both have solutions, and we both can get it done. Senator, I thank you for the honor of addressing you.